Namaste, my name is Alex. I'm a yoga philosophy and meditation teacher, and I invite you to a short series of talks and meditations that aim to realize the essence of what we call yoga. I find this realization very important because it provides a foundation for a practice, for a meaningful practice that bears fruit. Millions of people are practicing yoga, and mostly they don't achieve profound yoga goals if there is no foundation, if there is no basis. And when you have this basis, then it works like a compass that always shows you direction, where to go. Right? If you want to go somewhere, you need to know where it is. Yeah, then your progress is tangible. You see that you are moving in the right direction consciously. So today we will discuss two things. First, what is yoga? And second, why practice yoga? The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root word yuj, which means to join, to unite. And originally, yoga stands for a certain state, a state of connectedness or union with our innate nature, with the essence of what we are, also known as self-realization or self-knowledge. And then, in later periods, this word is used to also signify a range of practices that aim to lead you to this state of yoga, state of connectedness or union with what you are. And different branches of yoga, different schools and different teachers were developing different techniques, and depending on techniques, we have all those different names and forms of yoga, like hatha yoga or karma yoga or bhakti yoga. So they all apply different methods, different techniques, like pranayama, mantra, or self-inquiry, and basing on these techniques, we have all those different names, but they all aim to achieve same state, to achieve same goal, this self-awareness, this self-realization. And why practice this? So the ancient sages, ancient yogis, realized that the main reason for our unhappiness and all the fears, anxieties, doubts, regrets, conflicts, and all kinds of sufferings, the main reason for this is ignorance of our own true nature. So we can compare this true nature, as it is done in also some scriptures, to a space or a certain container in which all experiences are happening. So let's say you are sleeping and you are seeing a dream. So what actually happens is that your consciousness generates a dream, and you have some events happening. You can be laughing, you can be crying, you can be experiencing emotions, seeing different characters in your dream, and you experience those emotions because you identify with what is happening there. You are having this false identity with what is happening in your dream, and this generates all those emotions that you experience. Though in reality, what's happening, you're actually lying in a bed, and you forget that this experience is simply generated by your mind. Or let's say you are watching a movie which is projected on the screen, and when you are engaged and when you kind of identify with the characters, start having some connection, thinking that it is really happening. You start having all those emotions. That's what we get when we see the movie. And while we are in that state, being attracted and being focused on what is happening there, we forget what is really happening. That if someone is dying in that movie, no one is really dying, right? It's a generated experience which we take for real and have certain emotions. So they discovered that this is what is happening in life. Being, since childhood, attracted by what is happening around us. Being attracted by what is happening. Being focused, keep having our attention outside, we forget about this nature of what we are, this true essence or the true self. And this true self, that is the source and foundation for those experiences, is peaceful by nature. It is happiness itself and peace itself that welcomes all those experiences that are happening. However, we forget about this. We think that we are those bodies and we're identified with needs of the body, with desires of the body, with all what is happening, and we lose this peace because we're disconnected. Okay, so we lose this connection, we lose awareness and fall into the state of ignorance. And because of this, we start experiencing suffering. All right? So those sages, they develop technique that helps us to redirect our focus inside and find out or reconnect with our true nature. And this is how we go beyond all the sufferings that only seem to be real. This task is quite challenging, and again, different teachers in different schools design different techniques that we can use and see what works better for us. We could learn to discipline our mind through asana practice. We can learn to discipline our mind through pranayama practice. We can do it through mantras, visualizations, through rituals, and different techniques. But we always need to remember that, we need to align all our practices with the goal, with realizing what we really are. And today I would like us to do a simple exercise that will help us to just experience those layers that are covering this peaceful, untouched, eternal nature of what we are. So to do this, just find a comfortable sitting posture. You can sit in the chair or sit cross-legged on the floor. Maybe lean on the wall if you like. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your body. watch sensations that you have in your body. You will feel some vibrations, some pressure, some tension. Maybe itching, maybe some pain. All kinds of sensations. Also notice some sounds. And how your mind reacts to sounds. Trying to figure out the source of the sound. Trying to label it. Or some memories arise, or some thoughts, and some thoughts, some memories give birth to emotions. If you think of something or someone that you like, you have some positive emotion. If it's something unpleasant, then you might have some negative emotion. And all these sensations, all these feelings, thoughts, emotions, they all attract our attention all the time. And they cover the space in which they all happen. And with which we can experience them. And if you open your eyes, open them now, you will see how many forms and images will also fill this space, or your consciousness. And your mind will immediately react to all these forms and images. You're trying to call them by name, trying to see what's happening. And most of the time, our attention is compelled by the world around us. Or when we close our eyes, we have all those thoughts, memories, maybe some visions. Something is always covering this foundation, this true self. So we have this container and we have contents of this container. So we're most of the time focused on that contents, and this contents is always changing. It's never still. It's coming and going. Today you have something positive, tomorrow you have something negative. And all this constant change, if all your attention is given to it, generates a lot of emotional suffering that we experience. And ancient sages realized that mainly that what we call suffering is generated by our mind. So when mind is active, it generates this suffering when our attention is outside. So if we learn to discipline our mind, if we learn to direct our attention inside, to make it less reactive. So through these meditative practices, we can first of all experience our innate nature, our true self, or the essence of what we are, and which is a bit more challenging, to be established in this awareness, not to be distracted by events that are happening. Because when we're distracted, when we lose awareness, again we start having all those sufferings that we don't want to have. And because we are usually taking that what we see for real, thinking that this is reality, we start searching for this peace and happiness outside. We think that if we change the movie or the picture, then we will be happier. But this, again, this external thing is always changing. And there is no way to find lasting peace and happiness being focused on what is happening outside. So, in order to find this lasting peace and happiness, sages offer this technique which we call yoga. And the essence of it is to direct your attention deep inside and realize your true nature. So in our future classes, we will talk more about this space of awareness and of some techniques that can help us to reconnect and to experience the state of yoga. Thank you.